My body is like a cartoon character that has been run over by a steamroller, then it gets back up all flat and accordion-like and tries to walk. It doesn't work very well. Most days I wake up and perform a quick diagnostic check. Are my legs working today? It's a simple yes or no question. Sometimes they respond with a definite maybe. My joints sound like someone popping an entire roll of bubble wrap. It's my own personal built-in sound effect for getting out of bed. My pain has its own personality. It's a grumpy old man who sits in my joints and complains about everything. He complains about the weather. He complains about me walking. He especially complains when I try to open a jar of pickles. Living with a chronic illness is basically an exercise in creative problem solving. It's like being given a set of IKEA furniture instructions, but half the pages are missing and the instructions are for a different piece of furniture entirely. And all you have is a single, slightly bent Allen key, so you just have to improvise. For instance, I have mastered the art of picking things up with my feet. This skill is incredibly useful until you drop something wet, or something you really, really don't want to touch with your feet like a spider. Then you just stare at it from across the room, locked in a silent multi-hour standoff waiting for someone else to come home and deal with the situation. My immune system is like an overzealous security guard at a party. It sees a harmless guest, like a piece of dust or maybe just a Tuesday, and decides it's a major threat. Then it sounds all the alarms and tackles the guest, knocking over the entire snack table in the process. Now everyone is on high alert, the party is ruined, and I'm just lying on the floor covered in dip. This internal chaos means that my energy levels are unpredictable. I might have enough energy to conquer a small mountain one day. The next day I might need help to conquer a flight of stairs. It's a thrilling lottery where the prize is being able to make toast. This constant negotiation with my own physical form is exhausting. But it's also absurd. My body sends me the most confusing signals. One minute it screams, "Danger! We are in imminent peril!" And the next it whispers, "You know what would be great right now? An entire bag of potato chips." It's hard to take the danger signals seriously when they are immediately followed by a craving for salty snacks. It's like a Shakespearean tragedy directed by a clown. A very dramatic, very tired clown who just wants to lie down for a minute. The sheer ridiculousness of it all becomes a source of entertainment. It has to. Otherwise, I would just be the tired clown. And that's no fun for anyone. People with chronic illness talk about spoons. The spoon theory is simple. You start the day with a certain number of spoons. Each activity costs a spoon. Taking a shower, that's one spoon. Making breakfast, another spoon gone. It's a useful metaphor for limited energy. I, however, have a spoon thief. This thief is invisible, he is silent, and he is very, very good at his job. Some days I wake up and all my spoons are gone. Not just for the day, it feels like he's stolen all my spoons for the entire week and pawned them for magic beans. Beans that, ironically, I do not have the energy to cook. This leads to some very strategic planning. I have to budget my spoons like a meticulous accountant preparing for a financial audit. Do I spend a spoon on washing my hair? Or do I save that spoon in case I need to have a conversation that lasts longer than 30 seconds? It's a high-stakes game of resource management. Often I make the wrong choice. I'll spend a spoon on something frivolous, like putting on matching socks. Then, later in the day, when I need to perform a critical task, like lifting the TV remote, I find my spoon account is overdrawn. The Bank of Energy has called, and they are not happy. They're threatening to repossess my ability to blink. The spoon thief also enjoys creating awkward social situations. A friend will ask, "Want to go on a spontaneous hike this afternoon?" I look at my single tarnished spoon sitting sadly in my palm. The spoon looks back at me as if to say, "Don't you dare." So I have to explain that my schedule is completely booked. My agenda for the day includes sitting and breathing. Maybe, if I feel ambitious, watching a full movie without falling asleep. People don't always understand. They see you and you look fine. You don't look like you're in the middle of a desperate battle for your last remaining spoon. You just look lazy. So you learn to celebrate the small victories. Did I successfully unload the dishwasher? That was a 2-spoon activity and I nailed it. I deserve a parade. Or at least a nap I have become the world's leading authority on celebrating mediocrity. I managed to put on pants with a zipper today. Someone give me a trophy. This is the reality of the spoon economy. You don't get bonuses or raises. You just try to break even. And if you have one spoon left at the end of the day, you save it. You put it under your pillow, you guard it with your life, because you know the spoon thief is always lurking. Brain fog is my brain's version of a computer that has too many tabs open. The fan is whirring loudly. A pop-up ad for something I don't need is blocking the screen, and I can't find the mouse cursor. This state of mental confusion makes simple conversations feel like navigating a minefield. I'll be in the middle of a sentence talking about something important, like my dog, or the weather, and then nothing. The word I need has vanished. It has packed its bags, left a note saying, "It's not you, it's me," and moved to another country. I'm left standing there with my mouth open, trying to describe a pointy-eared bark monster. This leads to many wonderful and not at all humiliating public moments. I once went to the grocery store with a very clear list: milk, bread, eggs. I walked out of the store with a pineapple, 3 bags of cat food, and a birthday card for someone named Gerald. I do not own a cat. I do not know anyone named Gerald. My brain just decided that this was the new mission. The original mission was aborted due to, well, I can't remember why. Probably because a shiny object distracted me in the cereal aisle. I returned home, triumphant in my failure, and realized I still needed to go back for milk. The physical side of things is just as goofy. My coordination often decides to take an unscheduled vacation. I will confidently walk toward a doorway and somehow collide directly with the doorframe. It's not a gentle bump. It's a full-body commitment to hitting the one solid object in an otherwise clear path. People who see this happen look at me with a mixture of pity and confusion. I just try to play it off like I was testing the structural integrity of the building. Yep, I'll nod sagely, rubbing my shoulder. That's a solid frame. Good work. It's either that or admit my body has the navigational skills of a confused moth. These moments are a masterclass in awkwardness. I once tried to pay for coffee and handed the barista my driver's license instead of my credit card. He just stared at it, then at me. I stared back, completely unaware of my mistake for a solid 10 seconds. In that time, I think we both questioned the nature of reality. Finally, I realized what I had done and fumbled for the correct card, my face turning the color of a ripe tomato. The barista was kind. He didn't laugh. But I knew, we both knew. I was a walking cartoon, a collection of silly mishaps held together by sheer willpower and a desperate need for caffeine. You have to find the humor in it all. If I didn't laugh, I would probably just lie on the floor and cry. And crying costs at least 2 spoons, which I often can't afford. So laughter becomes a survival mechanism. It's the cheapest medicine there is. When my joints are making sounds like a haunted house, I just imagine a tiny ghost in my knee, trying to get my attention. When I forget a word mid-sentence, I pretend I'm creating a new, more efficient language. It's not brain fog, it's linguistic innovation. Finding the joke is like finding a secret power-up in a video game. It doesn't fix the main problem, but it makes the level a little more fun to play. Sharing these stories helps too. When I tell a friend about how I tried to unlock my front door with my car keys for 5 straight minutes, they laugh. And I laugh. And for a moment, the illness isn't a scary monster in the closet. It's just a goofy sidekick who messes things up sometimes. It transforms the frustration into a shared experience. It turns a moment of personal failure into a funny anecdote. Suddenly, the pineapple and cat food incident isn't a sign of my cognitive decline. It's the setup for a good story. A story that ends with me making a very confused but determined face in the middle of a supermarket. This isn't to say that living with a chronic illness is all fun and games. It's not. Some days are hard. Some days are just an endless expanse of pain and fatigue with no punchline in sight. On those days, the goal is just to get through. But the funny days, the silly moments, the awkward encounters, they are the life rafts. They are the little pockets of joy that keep you afloat. They remind you that you are more than your symptoms. You are a person who once tried to start their microwave by pointing the TV remote at it. And that's objectively hilarious. So here I am, A slightly broken but generally cheerful cartoon character, I might move a little slower. My brain might buffer from time to time, but I'm still here. I'm finding the joy in the ridiculous. I'm laughing through the pain, not because it isn't real, but because my spirit is more stubborn than my illness. My body might be the unreliable narrator of my life story, but I'm the one writing the jokes. And as long as I can find the punchline, I know I'm going to be okay. Even if I have to eat my cereal with a fork tomorrow because the spoon thief struck again.